welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Wendy Morrisov. I'm the director of the Career Development Center. How many people have used the Career Development Center, have visited, have engaged with Purchase Job Score? Okay, everybody, mostly everybody, and if you haven't, you hopefully will after you're done learning more about LinkedIn today. How many freshmen do we have here? Okay, good job. You've been coming to a lot, right? You're motivated freshman leader. How many sophomore students? Okay, juniors? Okay, seniors? Okay, alumni? Okay, staff? Community visitors?
Senior auditor.
Senior, there you go. That's staff.
It's a little scary, actually.
That's financial auditor or auditor of programs? Yeah, that's it. Great to have you. Great to have you. So let's get right to it. There's a lot of information that our guest speaker Chaim is going to cover. We do these programs on an annual basis to educate you about very, very important social media, professional social media resource, that's LinkedIn. How many people already have a LinkedIn profile started? Okay, good. How many people are a little bit bewildered about the changes in LinkedIn just when you got to know the system? Okay, all right. We have an expert LinkedIn speaker today. This is Chaim Shapiro. He is the Director of Student Success.
I'll take a promotion though.
Okay, and Career Development, and he hopefully is going to clarify a lot of things about this really wonderful system. Once you get to know it, you never want to let go of it because there's a lot of value in the way that you communicate and the information and the jobs and the networking that you can do through this system. So, without further ado, Chaim Shapiro.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be back. You know, I just know that I'm probably going to be like 2 days, 3 days before spring break. So that means after you learn this, you can spend your entire spring break working on LinkedIn, right? How many are going to do that? Don't answer that.
Yes.
Okay, maybe. Whatever it is, that's fine. Anyway, thank you so much. It really is a pleasure to be here. My name is Chaim Shapiro. I'm the director of the Office for Student Success at Touro College in Brooklyn. And I've been giving LinkedIn speeches for a number of years. And really, the focus of this presentation is really show you, A, how to use your LinkedIn profile, how to create a winning LinkedIn profile, and we're also getting some strategic kind of ideas for finding and engaging the right people on LinkedIn as well. So usually my presentation is about an hour or so. I do it as a live interactive demo, which means that I'll be showing you about any kind of slides up here, what you need to do to change things on LinkedIn. So what I always say, a good presentation to me is a lot of questions coming from you, having me show and illustrate how to use the functionality on LinkedIn. A presentation I'm not as happy with is one where I'm just sitting up there talking. It's supposed to be engaging, it's supposed to be interactive, so please, please, please do ask your questions. At any point along the way, stop me and we'll go and show you how to use the functionality specifically. And I have been told, given this workshop again for a number of years, that it's almost like drinking from a fire hose, because there is just so much information in terms of what we're going to present and things to do on LinkedIn. But part of the idea is to get you at least started, and I do take questions all the time from students on Twitter and other places, and give quick little pieces of advice as to how to use certain things. So, with that being said, I'd like to get started, okay? Please, please, please ask questions, and we're going to go through the functionality at the end, by the way, as well. Usually after the hour, I'll stick around for about 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and work with you on individual questions you might have about LinkedIn. Okay. Now, as you might have noticed, LinkedIn completely changed everything. Well, it depends. They actually rolled it out slowly, so it might have been almost 3 months ago, but it could have been as recently as a month or 2 ago. Their entire user interface has changed. The way you interact as a user with LinkedIn has completely changed over the last 3 to 4 months. And how you have to utilize LinkedIn changes as well. Part of the goal of being a LinkedIn and having a LinkedIn profile is making sure you maximize what is currently available on LinkedIn and use that to your best advantage. So the first part of the session, the goal is to show you some of the changes to the LinkedIn profile and what you guys can do specifically to utilize the new changes to make sure that you're presenting yourselves to people who are looking for you in a positive way. So we're going to get right into it right here. Okay, so this is the LinkedIn homepage. And this is basically your homepage. The only person who's actually going to see this is you when you log into your homepage. The things you can do here is when you want to share an article or a photo or something over here, or read other things that people have done. But more importantly, we're going to show you how to actually change and edit your profile. Now, if you swing over here to this little picture view, the little me button, click on that, then view profile. This is going to automatically take you into the edit mode of your profile. I had somebody call me up and was very, very worried because after he did this, went to audit mode, he was assuming that everybody who saw his profile was seeing it in his edit mode and had the ability to edit. This is only when you're logged into your account, you'll have the ability to edit yourself on your own profile. Nobody else has access to this editing kind of capability on your side. Actually, you can see what your profile looks like for other people later, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, the third thing I want to point out is this background photo right here. Now, you see here, this background photo is something that I personally uploaded to LinkedIn, and you know what? Now that I see it, I'm going to have to change the picture a little bit, and let's do that right now because I can see on this presentation that it's not actually showing up the way that I wanted to. So I'm going to try and drag this down a little bit if it lets me. Update photo, reposition. It should let me drag it scale. It's not letting me. But for whatever reason, it's not letting me. But the point is, you want to do it in the photo in a way that shows your face, which should be covered by what that is. And by the way, it might look different to people from the outside than it does from the inside. But they actually increased the resolution on this now, so you can actually put a much, much brighter, higher resolution picture. People who are into art, graphic design, art, this is a great place to showcase your work. As I always say, this should be promoting your brand. My brand is that I give LinkedIn presentations in a number of places, so I have a presentation or a picture of myself giving LinkedIn presentations. You have your best graphic design work, your best piece of artwork. Pop that right in there, update and upload it, and you'll actually put that right in there so you can utilize that to help you sell yourself and your brand. I do think it's important, by the way, that you have some kind of signature on it so people actually know that it's your artwork as opposed to when you pulled off of some graphic place somewhere else. But it is important to do it. It's a great opportunity. People are not utilizing this to their full advantage and being able to really show this is what I can do as a graphic designer, this is what I can do as an artist. And it's a great way to help promote yourself before you even start with the other parts of LinkedIn. Questions so far? Okay. The next thing I want to show you is what I call the LinkedIn triumvirate. To me, this is the most important part of LinkedIn. That refers to the three things that people are going to see no matter where you show up on LinkedIn. Search results on the side down over here, different places. They're going to see your picture, your name, and this thing right here. Anyone know what this is called? Sub-detail? It is a sub-detail, but it's called the LinkedIn headline. Oh. Your LinkedIn headline, you have 120 characters there where you can actually say something about yourself. The biggest mistake I see on LinkedIn all the time consistently is people writing student at SUNY Purchase, director at Touro College. This is an incredible waste of space because if somebody sees only my name, my picture, and a brief snippet about me, what is it that's going to make them click on my account? I want to make sure someone clicks on my account because if they don't, I haven't gained anything. I haven't gotten them to look at any of my stuff. So you want to use something that really sells you as a professional. And you see, for me, specifically what I'm looking to do, I write those things. You see, I also separate it out with little spaces in between and little stars just to make it a little bit easier to read. But utilize this and write something specific that really sells you. I get students all the time in Touro College and ask me, well, what should I write there? And I always tell them, I can write it for you, it'll be pretty worthless because it has to be reflective of you. This is your LinkedIn elevator pitch. You guys know what elevator pitches are? Yeah, good. CDC does good work. Yeah, elevator pitches. This is your opportunity to really sell yourself in 100. You have 120 characters on LinkedIn. In addition to that, I want to show you the picture is also very, very important. And this is just by this little pencil. Here's where you go into the edit mode for these things. Your picture is very important. This has changed recently. The picture used to be square, and the new user interface, the picture is actually in a circle. But you want to have a high-resolution picture wearing the kind of clothes you would wear specifically if you were at a networking event for your kind of profession. So, graphic design people, if you're going to Google, is where you're looking to work. That'd be a very different kind of picture than if you're looking to work in graphic design at, say, PricewaterhouseCoopers or something, because they'd be looking for somebody in a suit and more fancy dress, while Google might be looking for somebody in a more casual kind of dress. So you want it to be where you're looking for your kind of job. This is the kind of clothes I would be wearing if I go to a networking event there, because when they see you, it's a representation of your best professional self. Okay? You can always change the picture over here, and also they made the picture a higher resolution. Name seems to be obvious, but first name, last name. Now you see here, I have my degree in there. I recommend against doing this. I just have done it for so long that I haven't taken it out. But LinkedIn recommends against doing that, your degree or anything else there. Better to just put your name because it can skew the search results when people are looking for you by your name. So you want to make sure not to do that. And again, if I hadn't been doing it for about 10 years, I probably would take that out. And you can see over here, if you have a former name, you can add that as well. Okay? You don't want to put other things in there. You see some people put, everyone ever see someone put L-I-O-N in their profile? No? L-I-O-N, fortunately, is less frequent than it used to be. But it stands for LinkedIn Open Networker, which is a way for people to say that I'm open to other people connecting to me no matter who they are. But LinkedIn doesn't like you to do that, and I would advise against you doing that as well. Okay, so the LinkedIn Triumvirate, as I call it, this picture, your name, and your headline. This is going to show up everywhere you are, therefore it is the most valuable professional real estate out there for you on social media. Make sure it is a good representation of you professionally and a good representation of what you're trying to present or what you can offer to people. Questions? Oh, no questions, okay. Now you see here, I have my current position. This is something I don't particularly like about LinkedIn, because it should allow me to change and have multiple positions listed under Turo, but it doesn't do that in any way that makes sense, because it retracts and restarts the date, and it doesn't work well. But you do want to make sure that you have the appropriate, your correct position up there. And I'll show you a little bit later, by the way, when we get down to actual editing mode in the profile below, how you want to make sure that you get the correct name of the company in there. Another thing I hope to show you today is what they call Open Candidate. Anyone ever hear of LinkedIn Open Candidate? Nobody? This is great for college students because sometimes when you're working in college, you're working at a job, in a college job, and somebody sees you and says, the person's working at Macy's or whatever it happens to be, they don't think that potentially you're open to opportunities. Open Candidate gives a signal to people who have the recruiting platform on LinkedIn to say that I am open to other opportunities outside of the job that's currently listed. We'll get to that in a little while. Okay, now another change I wanted to show you here is on this summary. Now you see here, this summary just gives me a big block of text that I can put in here. You can put in a lot of information, but here's one of the challenges with what LinkedIn did. You'll see here that I ended this with a bunch of stars. And there's a very specific reason why I did that, because what LinkedIn did when they made the change to the user interface is they created what's really pretty much a snapshot of your profile. If somebody's doing your profile from the outside, this is the part that they're going to see, without the editing part here, but job and all these things. Now look what happens here. I actually have these stars at the end here because you have exactly, don't ask me why they chose it, exactly 220 characters there. And if you have more than 220 characters and you don't have the spacing or something like that, it's going to have just like a disembodied letter sitting out in the middle of nowhere that makes absolutely no sense to anybody. So what I tell people to do is to make sure they actually use the 220 characters appropriately, and you don't want to have any letters or any words or start or beginnings of words or separate ideas that are going to be part of that line. Now somebody can actually click to see more than see it, but what I'd like to see LinkedIn do is in this edit mode, because you see here for this, it actually tells me how many characters I have left. So I have 4 characters left. I know that. It does not do that for this. So you have to play around with it until you get it right. I've seen probably 95% of the profiles that I've seen recently make this mistake, and they have just letters randomly sitting out there. But it's a great opportunity to give a little bit also, in addition to making sure it looks right, give yourself the opportunity to present yourself and who you are to people. Because again, if they're actually clicking on your profile, this is what they're going to see beyond the LinkedIn Triumvirate that we spoke about before. Now what I'd like to see again is LinkedIn just tell me when the 220 is up over here, but again, they don't really do that. And the other problem is, I always like to say nobody likes Seymour, and I once got in trouble because there was somebody named Seymour in my presentation who got mad at me. What I mean by nobody likes Seymour, who can guess what I mean by that? What's that? Simpsons? No,
nobody likes to nobody likes to read long blogs of text. Like they just like reading. They don't like having to press the see more to see.
Right, exactly. People are very unlikely to push this see more button. It's like the famous joke: the best place to hide a body is on the third page of Google results, because nobody's ever going to look there. But the chances of somebody actually going on here, clicking this see more button to see the rest of my profile, you've probably lost 75% of the people who are actually on your profile. Not the people who are doing searches and not looking at you, the people who are on your profile. Most of them are not going to go further down. So this is very important to make sure that snapshot really, really sells you well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure that snapshot sells you really, really well. And then again, you have the extra characters, so use them. Use the summary here. Put the rest of your summary up there underneath in case somebody is interested and they do look. You still do have the ability of including all this information here as well. Now, one of the things that I do, you'll see here, I don't include it in my 220, but I do include my email address in my LinkedIn summary. And the reason for this is if somebody's interested in connecting with me, want to send me an email, they want to hire me for something, LinkedIn can charge people $10 for what's called an in-mail to send me a message if they're not connected to me. And my philosophy is, if I have 3 potential candidates, I can reach out to one for free, I pay $10 for 2 of them, I'm going for the free guy. So putting it out there is a good idea. Yes, you will potentially get some spam, but we all get spam anyway. And some people do put, Chaim Shapiro, then the parentheses, the word at, and you can do that if you want. That stops some of the bots from stealing your email address and just sending things out. But I think it's very important because you really want to make sure that people make it easy to contact you. Don't make it difficult for people to network. This is social media. Be social. Let people connect with you. Let people contact. I am talking way too much. Any questions? Yes?
If you get doing that, does that flood your email in a way that you...
I don't think it floods. I mean, I get spam, but Gmail has a pretty good spam filter, and they're pretty good at that anyway. And I get spam from all sorts of other places as well, because my email address I share pretty readily in a lot of different places. So just got to be careful and just watch what you click before you click it. But I definitely think it's worthwhile. Yes?
Is it okay to use your school email, or should you come up with a different email?
Well, I think it's okay to use your school email while you're in school. Some schools also have their online emails. The best email from my perspective, and to see if Wendy agrees with this, would be first name, last name at Gmail, if you can get it.
I think Gmail is safer than other.
Yeah. If you can get it, because my email is Chaim Shapiro at Gmail. Now, it used to be Chaim Shapiro at AOL until AOL sort of fell off the face of the earth.
It's easier to find you that way.
What's that?
It's easier to find you with your...
Yeah, and people expect Gmail from the respective employers is the more professional side.
Right.
Yes?
So I have a really common name, Rachel Greenwald. So would it be ill-advised to also add my middle name, like Rachel Danielle Greenwald, or just go with my middle name?
That's a great question. What I usually, sometimes people put a period and a D, a capital D in between their email name. But we can talk about that afterwards if you want to. But that's what I would do. Rachel D. Greenwald might be the way to do it.
All right.
But something to think about. Okay. Just to get back, any other questions? Okay. So getting back here, you see here, I also have some media attached. I know we're filming this, and I can guarantee you, as soon as I get the film edited, it's going to be going up on my LinkedIn profile under my media. Why do I do that?
Show your capabilities.
Because instead of telling people, you know what, I can give a great LinkedIn presentation, say, you know what, you want to see? Click on that button, you'll see my LinkedIn presentation. It sells me better than just about anything else. And I think it's a very, very important way for people to present themselves. Now, again, you can upload a lot of different media types here. Let me go back into the edit mode to show you how to do this. Go to the edit mode. Go down here. Upload or link to media. Upload, it should show, well, it's going to upload the files here. But artists, graphic designers, great place to showcase your work is right here, because it's an opportunity for somebody to see it on your profile. It embeds into your profile. The challenge is that they have to click the See More button now to see it, while in the past that was something that they saw right away. We'll come up with some strategies for reverting that a little bit. You got a question?
Is it the full presentation, or do you just have a clip?
So I actually have the full presentation. I mean, people have different theories on that. Because to me, for what I'm trying to do, I want people to see it and present it and share it. But I actually host it on SlideShare, just because I think that's a little bit of a safer place to host it.
Yeah.
And SlideShare and LinkedIn play very nicely together, because LinkedIn owns SlideShare. Microsoft now owns SlideShare.
Because I was just thinking in terms of you know, people who are, want to show a piece of art, a video, if they're a videographer, or they want to show a piece of art from something that they've done, a multimedia presentation of some sort. You know, if you just give a little clip, more like a teaser.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you're trying to sell something and this is what I can do, find out more. But again, I should keep it simple.
Yeah.
Because assuming somebody's going to click through and do the next step
Yeah.
is assuming too much generally in social media. So I make it as easy as possible for people to see the full thing if they can see the full thing. And again, you can include that here. It shows the first 3 on your page. After that, the people have to click after that. And you can just order it. Order it in the way that you want in order to make sure you're highlighting your best stuff first. Does that make sense? And by the way, you can actually change the name of the title here as well. So, description, title, and all those things. And you can change that over there. Okay? Now, I want to get, before, any questions before I move into showing someone where to put one of your portfolios and some of your websites? Yes?
Just a quick recap.
Sure.
Play, once I leave here and go back and start doing this, to play your, this.
So if somebody was looking at my profile from the outside, if they clicked on that, it would take them to a Vimeo video of my actual presentation.
Okay.
And they can watch the entire presentation on their desktop.
So that's easy to find, that's easy to find on your site.
It's easy to find on my LinkedIn if they click the See More button.
Okay.
Previously, that was available without clicking See More. And I'm going to talk about, let me just show you now actually. Because sometimes I think it's more important now to include media under your work experience because those do show up without the See More. Now it is further down the profile, so there is a give and take to this because you're assuming somebody's actually scrolling further down. The further down you scroll, less likely someone is going to read it, but at least it's there where people can see it without clicking the See More button. So there's no real great solution to this, but I think you want to present your best stuff in the best way that you can. Does that make sense? Yes, please.
You're going to go and mention that to Microsoft?
Yeah, but Microsoft, LinkedIn just asked me to send them a mistake I found yesterday, actually. But I told them, what's in it for me? You know?
Because they haven't done a lot to promote that.
Yeah, no, they haven't. There was rumors they were going to take it away. Thankfully, they did it because it's still a great way to present yourself. Okay. By the way, some people embed their resume on here as something. You see here's an advanced LinkedIn outline. I also have, you put a copy of your resume, and that way someone can see it and download it directly to their desktop. Again, you know, if you did that, you would do it without including your address because you don't want people just showing up at your house. But it is a great way to sort of promote yourself. Okay, now I want to go over here to the contact and personal information. Okay, here's your opportunity to edit your contact and personal information. The edit button, as you can imagine, is right over here, a little pencil. Okay, so I have my personal website here. Now here's a little trick that you might not see elsewhere. If you choose the word other, it allows you to name your website. So my idea of my website is to get people to book LinkedIn workshops. I can only include that if I choose other. But if you choose one of the other opportunities or possibilities it gives you, like portfolio, which is, by the way, great for artists, portfolio, it's just going to say portfolio and link to the website without actually giving you the opportunity to do that descriptive piece. Okay? So sometimes people actually put it in both. They'll have two portfolios. One says portfolio, one will say, take a look at my excellent work. And you can do both. You need to have that other button to get the opportunity to include that extra information. Okay? I do include my cell phone number. This is a little bit more controversial again because I do get occasional calls from people that are trying to sell whatever they're trying to sell. But generally, only the people that can see that information are people who are directly connected to me, so I don't get that many spam calls when it comes to those kinds of things. And in terms of calls, anybody can call anytime, anywhere. I do not include my address. I don't want people showing up at my house. So I don't include that. And you see here, obviously, I also include my email address. Now, the other thing I have here is my Twitter account. I think it is very, very important if you're on Twitter to connect your Twitter account to your LinkedIn and put that in there, because Twitter is an excellent engagement tool. LinkedIn is much better for promoting yourself, potentially identifying leads. LinkedIn is not great for engagement. Twitter is a much better engagement tool, so people can connect with you on Twitter. There are much more engagement opportunities when they do it that way. And by the way, I have my birthday, and this is visible to my connections only, as opposed to making it visible to just about everybody who might be able to see it and then utilize the information the way that I don't want to do. Now, just to go back over here, edit your public profile. So this is a little confusing. I want to show you how you get here. You go back to the home page, click on the little me button, view profile, and the second one down is edit your profile, public profile page. This is what people are going to see if they come to your account from outside of LinkedIn. They're not at LinkedIn, they come from Google, from somewhere else. And you can see here on the right, you can choose what they see. Picture, headline, website, promote your best stuff. By the way, a lot of people make the mistake of not putting their picture up there. I think it's important to have your picture up there because if somebody's coming from the outside, it's more engaging when they see your picture than when they don't. So I definitely would include the picture in that. Okay? Now, one of the other things I advise people to do almost immediately when they get onto LinkedIn is come here and edit their public profile URL. Everybody has a public profile URL. Chances are, currently yours, if you haven't changed it, is going to be linkedin.com/in, some of the letters of your name and a bunch of numbers and dashes and those kinds of things. You can actually personalize that right here. You click this button. That'll allow you to type in first name, last name, and utilize that as your LinkedIn URL. Now you got to be careful here. I don't play around with this because once you change it, it changes everything. And your old links are not going to work anymore. So you only want to do it once. But first name, last name, you don't need to capitalize. You don't need the punctuation. If your name is taken, because again you were talking before about popular names, you can't put, for example, a dash in between the first name and the last name. You can't put a letter for the middle initial. Potentially that could work. Sometimes people put you can put MED at the end. But this is a very important way to help promote yourself. It's called the vanity URL. And then after you have this, I include this as a signature line on my emails. Because again, if somebody wants to find out more about me and I send them an email, they can find out about it by clicking on it. And it looks and sounds professional because it's my name, linkedin.com/in/Chaim Shapiro. Yes?
So I have an old LinkedIn account that I made back when I was in 5th grade. It's kind of a mess. I use like an old Wolf Girl 50, the email I use. Is it possible to delete that old LinkedIn, just start up a new one?
Probably better editing it. You can. There's a way to combine accounts, but it gets confusing. You have to get LinkedIn help to help you. Come to me after. We'll talk about it. It's better just to edit it. And it shouldn't be hard to edit. You just need to go through the edit and change all the information on there. Okay, other questions? Okay, we're going to click out of this edit profile section here. Okay, and we're going to go down here. We're going to move a little bit further down just to show you the next thing that's on your profile. LinkedIn profiles are now static. It used to be you could actually change things around and choose where your summary was, choose where your skills are. Right now, LinkedIn locks you into this particular static format of where everything is. Now, one of the things that I like about this is your LinkedIn activities are now more important than they've ever been. Because right here on the right, your last 3 activities, last 3 things you did on LinkedIn are going to be highlighted on your profile. This is a great opportunity if people are looking at your profile to make sure that you constantly are submitting and doing professional things that are related to your particular field. So you see here I have a couple presentations, a couple things here about what I'm doing here today, and people can see those different things. I also congratulated somebody that I know on a professional milestone, but because these activities show up so high, it's much more important than it's ever been to make sure that you actually update things, activities, like things on a regular basis, but make sure they're all professional things that are consistent with your personal and professional brand. Because people will see that, and it is a great way to present yourself. Over here is LinkedIn Publish. Good idea, I think, to at least have one up there now, because it does show it up there. If you're going to publish something, I always tell people this is not like a standardized blog where you're just going to put some random stuff on your thoughts about the Chicago Cubs winning the World Series. I'm Cubs fan, by the way. Cubs winning the World Series, but something that is of publishable quality that helps present you and promote your professional brand. Does that make sense? So activity is much more important than they've ever been. And let's just see here, going here. Actually gives you some data on how many people have viewed these things. Not great data because they're trying to get you to buy the product where you can get more information, but it shows you how many people see it, where they're from, things like that. So it gives you some data as to how you're doing. I think the numbers here are important. If you're getting certain kinds of things that are getting much larger numbers and more people are liking it and sharing it, it probably means you're much closer to the kind of appropriate things in terms of what you're sharing. If you're not, chances are you're probably not sharing the right things, the kind of things you want to share. Questions? Very quiet here. Yes?
What's the first and second degree?
First and second degree connections? Okay.
No. I guess connection.
Connection, okay. So the way LinkedIn works is LinkedIn works by degrees of separation. And the way your network works is if I'm connected directly to somebody, that's a first degree connection. Now, if I'm connected to you and you're connected to the person sitting next to you, but I'm not, that would be a second degree connection. So that's through, and the way LinkedIn was set up was to provide the sort of the connections that you didn't know were there. So I'm like, oh, I know you, and I'm trying to get a hold of a gentleman over there. Can you introduce me? Because I assume you know him because you're connected. That's the second degree. And if he was connected to the lady sitting next to him, that would be a third degree connection, which is as far as LinkedIn goes. Does that make sense? So they're like circles of influence. You're in your center, people you are directly connected to are your first degrees. Their circle is second degrees, and then third degrees. LinkedIn actually limits what you can do with third degrees. So having a bigger second degree or first degree, which leads to a bigger second degree, because you have more people connected to, the more people they're connected to, gives you the opportunity to engage more people about sending emails. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Other questions? Okay, so we're going to keep moving down here. And we're going to go back to the profile. Now you see here, this is my work experience. Again, this is now static. I can't change what order this shows up on, but it is very, very important. I just basically use the same stuff that's on my resume right up over here. LinkedIn does not work well with bullets. You see that these lines don't line up the way that they should. I use it because I think it makes it stand out a little bit better, even though it doesn't work that nicely with LinkedIn. But one of the important things I wanted to show you here, if you click on this little pencil, and you need to do it here as opposed to that place we were before, make sure when you type in the company that that logo shows up. And if you start typing it in, it should give you different options. There we go. So you can click the correct one. Make sure it links up to that. Why is that so important? It looks official. It definitely looks better on your profile. But also, if people are doing a search under Touro College, that ensures that my name is going to be included in that because it's actually synced together with the Touro College page. So it's very important to do that. By the way, you do that with education. When you put down the purchase, SUNY purchase, there should have a logo there. Make sure that logo is under your student experience, under your education, because that will help you in terms of that. Okay? Okay. Here, again, this is just basically the same kind of information that I have right there on my profile. And here, I have some different media content on here as well. Because it's directly connected to what I'm doing at Touro, I don't have as many LinkedIn things. But you see here, they don't have to click the See More button to get that. The first actual job, your current job, it actually shows you more information about it. Again, I might wish they had switched that a little bit and let you show you more of the snapshot, but that's just the way that it is. Okay, we're going to keep moving on. So you see here also, for education, make sure it syncs up to SUNY Purchase so that people can actually connect you to that. If we have time a little bit later, we're going to go into the alumni feature and show you how being part of that can A, help you, and B, help other people who might be interested in finding you based on the fact that you're connected to the school. Now, another big, big change to LinkedIn. People here ever gotten endorsements for skills that they have or have skills on their LinkedIn profile? How many people have skills to start with? Okay, most people have some skills, and occasionally you get an endorsement. I once got an endorsement as a basketball coach. Not sure why, but you know, it was sort of the most random thing in the world. But the endorsements that make sense are the ones that are actually directly affiliated and connected to the skills that you want. You can always add more skills, add a new skill. It's pretty simple right there, and it'll help you fill it in. But the important change that was made, LinkedIn now highlights the top 3 skills here on your profile. And again, it's not see more, it's view, but if people want to go further down and see the other ones, they have to click another button. Again, you've lost a significant number of people at that point who are not going to check that down. Now you'll see, you can actually choose the order in which these appear. I go to this button right here, I can reorder things. Put this guy over here, move that one up. And the top 3 right here are the 3 that show up in that order on my top. You see that? Even though, for example, I only got 77 endorsements for LinkedIn, and I got more than 100 for public speaking, because of the way that I have it set up, that shows up first. My assumption is the higher up it is, the more likely someone is to see it. Another very, very important change is LinkedIn has decided that if somebody who is highly skilled at that particular skill endorses you, it is going to highlight that. Lindsay Pollock is an incredible speaker. I'm honored that she endorsed me for LinkedIn. But more important for me is that anybody who comes to my profile and says, oh, Lindsay Pollock endorsed Chaim Shapiro for LinkedIn, that means something to people. And it highlights people who are highly skilled at things when they do actually endorse you for those things. The question I always get is, well, how do I know who LinkedIn considers highly skilled at something? It's a good question. LinkedIn doesn't release that information, so you might have to play around with it. But it is important because when you have those kinds of things endorsed by people that mean something, it gives meaning to endorsements. When I was here last year, I said endorsements are pretty much worthless. This gives some meaning to endorsements if you focus on the correct ones, excuse me, and you make sure, if you can, you get an endorsement from at least one person who's considered highly skilled, because that will show up and it will be much more impressive. Other questions about that? Yes?
Is there a way that you can ask people to endorse certain skills?
I think the better way, you can ask to be recommended. I don't think you can ask for endorsements, but I usually tell somebody to come with a profile. It's very simple to click that they want to endorse you for something specific. Recommendations, I think, are still the most important. That's the next thing we're going to get to. Actual recommendations for your work are much more important than the endorsements, and that's down over here. Now, you can ask to be recommended for someone specific, and you can see the recommendations you've received and the ones that have been given. I think this is very important because endorsements, I'm just saying, yes, I agree Chaim Shapiro has the skill when it comes to career counseling. Click a button. This is somebody who's actually writing a long piece that goes onto my profile that says, I like Chaim Shapiro because he did this, that, and the other thing. It's more descriptive. It's a personal account. I think it's much, much more powerful. And again, if you have more prestigious people who are able to recommend you for those things, that's even better. Because if you do it that way, it gives it more credibility. The mistake I see a lot of students make is saying, well, I'll have my roommate recommend me for something, you know, and that's not as powerful an example as you get somebody who's a professional or a client or something like that who recommends you for something. So it's important to make sure that your recommendations are from people that people would respect. Now, I wanted to show you here. You can actually move these things around if you want and make sure that it's the order that you want. So Sean Klein, I want him to show first. I can just move Isaac up over here, and that's going to change the order in which they show. Next thing I want to show you is nobody can actually post a recommendation on your profile. Question I get all the time is, somebody recommended me, I don't like what they said. I don't want to post that on my profile. Well, you don't have to post that on your profile because they can't post it for you. So you'll see here, this is very funny. Somebody was trying to troll me here. So, person wrote, Chaim is a perfect gentleman to all this whatever, but look what he calls himself. Couch surfer, transport excluded. And actually the way this was, last time I gave a presentation, he actually said perfect liar for free, was actually said on his profile as his headline. And he was trying to sort of bait me into posting that as a recommendation on my profile, and then if anybody sees that, they'll be like, oh look, you know, Chaim doesn't know what he's doing. But, if I wanted to, and I'm not doing it for this guy because he's not interested, you can ask for changes and say, you know what, I love the fact that you gave me a great recommendation. Do you mind mentioning this? Can I ask you to edit a couple things so the wording is a little bit better and tighter? And most people who recommend you, I've found, tend to be very, very willing to do that. Make sense? Okay. Next, any other questions about that? Yes?
Do they have to have a LinkedIn account?
The recommendations are only from people who actually have LinkedIn accounts. Let me just see if I can ask for recommendations. These are ones that I've done. But you can actually ask for recommendations, go down here, pick the place you want to go for, and then you can add up to your. There we go. Then I can send her one of those. What is your relationship? I won't fill it out. Now, potentially that would be a way to send it to her, and she could fill out a recommendation at that point. That was not a hint, by the way. So, we go back here to the edit page. Cancel this. Okay, now going back here to the profile page. Any other questions at this point? I really like to get some more questions. We're over, you know, we're 36 minutes in and haven't had that many. Anything else that you want to see about the profile? I'll keep going further down the profile. But okay, but those are important factors. Yes.
You have a website.
I have a personal website, yes.
personal, but not a, I just went, we're just looking for you by name.
On Google?
And just, well, like on Bing or on.
Oh, yeah, I know them, yeah.
Okay, and what's the first thing I would look for or see?
Yeah, so what I usually advise people, for a lot of people, you want your LinkedIn profile to show up first, but if you have a professional website, that shows up first, it's not a bad thing. What you don't want is somebody else named Chaim Shapiro stuff showing up first. So as long as it's my positive stuff showing up first, and it depends, the way Google does the rankings is how many times people see your profile and how many times it's used. When I first started, I used to use my LinkedIn URL, if any URL, and I posted on blog posts and on Twitter, because that increased the amount of views that I was getting, and Google will pick it up to the top of the rating. But I have no particular problem with my website being first. But you want yours as opposed to somebody else's stuff there, if you can possibly get that.
But if you want to have it automatic through Bing as well as through Google, or whatever. I mean,
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you can do it automatic. I mean, unless you're actually paying them for promoting it. The idea is to constantly put yourself out there in a way on the internet so it sees it and says, oh, this is somebody, this is a website that's been used frequently, and that's how it pushes it up to the higher level of the rankings. Does that make sense?
But part of the issue is because Microsoft had spent the money initially
Yeah.
invested in this end of it, and they're all mostly Bing, right?
Yeah, and we'll see what happens with that. I mean, I'll have to wait and see what happens with that and how they're going to use it. Because if Microsoft does it right, they can have a complete Office suite that's going to control everything.
Right.
Whether they do it or not, we'll see. Your question?
Well, I was going to ask, because I know you're going down to when you're following, when you follow a company or you want to use LinkedIn to research and see if I want to follow this company, and then I can have more access to the groups and so on. But you're going to get there. You're moving down there now. So.
I'm moving down.
Yeah.
And just to show you here, publications, honors, awards. If you go up here, add profile section, here's where you can add different things that are relevant to you, volunteer experience, whatever kinds of things are relevant to you. You can definitely add that down over here. It does help in terms of promoting again. If I get 1% of the people who view my profile actually looking this far down, I'm pretty happy with that. And here you can see, for example, different companies that I followed. And different groups actually took off of this now because groups sort of died. But you can't follow companies. But I wanted to show you before we get to that. The question I get all the time is about accepting connection requests from people and how that works and what kind of connection requests to send to people. So right now, the connection requests are all hosted under my network here. So go back, anytime you're here on the toolbar, go to my network. And this is going to show you 3, if you have them, people who are looking to connect with you. If you click show more, it's going to show a few more. And if you click manage all, it will show you all the ones you have pending. Now, this is interesting because I have a couple of different kinds of connection requests that I got here. And the reason I kept so many up here is because I wanted to show the example. So this is one where somebody just sent me a random, basic, generic LinkedIn request. I don't know anything about him. I can write him a message to ask him. Now, what I originally thought when I first used the user interface is message means that's the message they wrote to me. That is not correct. The message there is to send the message to them. If you click on their face or on their profile, it will take you to their profile, and you have to go to accept from there and find out who they are, and find out more information about them. Interestingly, it doesn't give you the opportunity to reject them on that same page. I'm not sure why that is, but it doesn't. But just to show you, people like this are people I'd be pretty potentially interested in connecting with. Here's one of the LION people that we talked about before. Someone who says, I connect with me because I'm open to everybody. But take a look at this one. What do you guys think? Am I connecting with this person? No. Because again, you see they have 34 connections. There's not much information there. They have a picture of, I think it's a bird. Parrot, okay. But this is a person that I would reject that connection request because it looks like this is somebody who's trying to steal my information. But you get people like that.
Although I feel like that whoever's trying to steal your information is obviously not very smart. I mean, why put a parakeet? Like, it just makes sense on Facebook to try to.
Because I think probably the vast majority of people just when they get a connection request don't review it as carefully as they should and connect. You see, they have 3 or 4 other people already did. My bet is that he or she or whatever it is going to actually be getting a lot more people as time goes on. Yeah.
You're probably getting to this too, but in order to see whether someone, like whether you want to accept them or not, how they're connected to you used to be a feature.
Yeah.
Is
Mutual
there any
connection
way
right
to
here.
fool the system and get that, you know, all right, you can see who else they've
Mutual
used.
connection, I can see the mutual connection and see. And I might want to send a message to you, like, you really know this guy?
Yeah.
Or is this a mistake? And I've seen that happen again. A lot of people just aren't as careful as they should be when it comes to what they're doing. I just want to show you one more thing here because it's important to see this under Manage All. Now, there's one person here who did it the way that I advise people to do it. The way to connect to somebody is to send them a personalized message saying, hi, Chaim, I want to connect to you because X, Y, and Z. Now, again, I would say the vast majority of people are not going to actually read it because in order to read it, what you have to do is actually go to the profile, click See More again, and this will show you their entire message to you. So I think it's important to personalize in case somebody sees it. Hello, theater director, I'm reaching out to you because of X, Y, and Z. That's important, but I wouldn't assume that they're going to read it. So don't put like a whole long selling point in there. I have a great theater person, I want to do this, that, because chances are they're not going to read that. That's an engagement to make a little bit later. But you see, this person did it right. He told me where he knows me from. Kalkaska, Michigan. Actually, that's a name I haven't heard in a long, long time. I went to camp there when I was like 9. But anyway, that person did it right, and that's a great way to make sure the person sees it. Again, don't do a whole big, long selling stuff, Mark, when you're doing it. Because chances are most people are not going to actually see it. Other questions about that, about connection requests? And by the way, just to show you here, we're going to accept this as a student to our college. I'm going to accept it. Now watch what happens to this number right here. That's a very good number, obviously. When I click this, it should, there you go, clicked up to one position.
Wow.
It actually allows you to track it. It has a counter, which is a cool, nice little tool. Nobody else sees it except for you, but for your own purposes, let's keep track of where you want to go. By the way, I do advise people, get to 500 plus connections. Because whether you have 500 plus connections, 501, or 20,892, your profile is going to say 500 plus on it. Why is that important to say 500 plus as opposed to 375? Yes?
Because 500 plus is very impressive because, oh wow, this person's got a lot of connections.
I think it makes you look like a professional networker. If you're connected to 501, I have no idea if you're connected to 501 or how many, but it looks to me, here's a person who knows how to network and they're using LinkedIn effectively. So getting to that 500 number, or 501, is an important place that you want to go. Okay. I want to go up here and show you something about searches. The searches changed completely. Before I do that, any other questions, last questions that people had specifically about the profile, skills, endorsements, recommendations, anything like that? Or should we go into the search? Yes, please.
You said that if you're a first degree connection, if you have a first degree account, is that what it's called?
First degree connection. That'd be like if I'm connected to you directly, like somebody that just accepted a person's account, that would actually be that person and I are now first degree connections.
Could you also connect to someone with a second degree account?
You can, and you actually go into their account and send it through, let's see here. Let's see if we find a good way to do this here. Here's for second degree. So I'm just pulling this up here. I can click the connect button and send them a message right there. Now, by the way, I have actually a limit on my account because LinkedIn claims I spammed some people with connection requests. I actually have to put in an email address. Most people don't have to do that. But if people click and they don't know who you are, eventually they'll actually take away your right to send a connection request without putting in the email address. So be careful with that, and they're not very nice about it in terms of how they take it away. And it's very difficult to get that. Now to get back to search here again. So this is a search I did a little bit earlier. It saves some of your searches, but actually I put in theater here, and then it takes you to this entire dashboard that gives you opportunities to check different things under those searches. One of the good changes to LinkedIn is it gives you the opportunity to do searches via hashtags again. This was taken away about 3-4 years ago, and it's actually back at this point. And you actually check, for example, people, top jobs, post companies, all those things. Great way when you find the correct search terms to find relevant posts, relevant people, and relevant connections. Now, I'm going to get to posts in a second, but let's just show you something here. This is a member of the Board of Trustees of the State Theater of New Jersey. Okay? So from my presumption, this is probably a pretty important person, you're a theater guy or girl, and this might be somebody I want to connect to. Okay? Now, I can send them a connection request, right? I'm connected to him directly, so I can send them a message. But if you just send a connection request saying, hey, you work in New Jersey's theaters, can you get me a gig over there? What's the answer going to be 99% of the time?
No.
Like, no, like, who are you? Why should I? So here's what I recommend that you do. Now that you identified that person, go over there to their profile, click the show more button here, and this is going to show, don't call their phone number, by the way. And the other thing, don't send a text message to anybody who's going to pick up their phone and say, who is this? If they don't know you, don't send them a text message. But this, and we talked earlier about Twitter being very, very important, this is his Twitter account. And now I can follow him on Twitter and wait until he mentions something that we have a mutual interest about. I'm a big fan of the movie The Princess Bride. Any Princess Bride fans? Few. Okay, in the back row. But anyway, if he were to mention the Princess Bride 30th anniversary, whatever, that could be my opportunity to jump in and say, oh yeah, it's inconceivable that we haven't met yet. How's that? Does that work? Yeah, you see what I did there? Yeah, okay, good. It's inconceivable that we haven't met yet, and that's an opportunity to engage somebody without asking for something and build that relationship out. And once I do that, potentially, I can invite them to coffee or build that relationship because you're not asking for something right away. So that's why finding the people and finding the right people is important. But also coming up with an effective engagement strategy, because the mistake people make, I had a student coming yesterday, said, can you give me a form letter that I can send to human resource managers at all these companies I'm looking for a summer internship? I said, I don't have such a form letter because it wouldn't work. I mean, is there a possibility that one person will pick it up? But it's very, very ineffective. What you need to do is find a way to connect to the person, build that relationship out before you have to ask for something. Now, just to go back here, back one page more. So you see here under the theater search, I can look for jobs. And if any of these make sense to you, sort by relevance, but you can change the search terms to come up. Dance theater, dance troupe, it could be art and design, whatever it is you're putting in, it'll show you based on LinkedIn's algorithms, jobs that I think make sense. The other thing that's important is now you can actually search posts. So when somebody actually makes any kind of post or status update, you can actually search those posts now. This is one of the great opportunities to actually engage people on LinkedIn. So you have not connected with them. If this was something of interest or any of these are of interest, I can click like and comment to them and build that relationship on Twitter on LinkedIn in a way that wasn't available even 3 or 4 months ago. So this ability to search posts is a good change. Utilize it. Again, find the right search terms. Once you find the search terms that are getting the right results, you can utilize those again and again. The challenge is finding the right search terms and making sure that you utilize them, check them on a regular basis, and then look for the opportunity to engage people and the right people. Questions?
Can you go back one?
Sure.
I just want to see where this, what
the search is?
to get to this. Yeah, this.
Okay.
Search.
So the search tab now here is on the left.
The general search. Okay.
And by the way, you see here what I searched for before. These are all the things I was planning on showing you guys. Because one of the things, if you're ever a speaker, test everything before you come in, because you never know what's going to work and what's not going to work. But that gives you the search, and here you'll see I had theaters, one that I chose, and I checked this to make sure this would work before, obviously. But post companies, groups, and schools gives you the opportunity to engage. Now, one of the other things that shows up here under search, and this was interesting. I was doing a search here for the Parsons. And look what happened here. Let's see if this is the right one. Okay. So this is the Parsons, not to pick on anybody per se, but they actually created a profile for the Parsons New School for Design. This is actually against LinkedIn's user agreement. You're actually not allowed to create an account, a regular profile account for a business. It has to be an employer page or a college page. This is a page for a profile. Actually, they can have this taken away at any time on LinkedIn if LinkedIn wanted to. But the way they're supposed to actually do that is put it under an employer page if people are looking for jobs there, or the university page, which they did, by the way. And we go back here to the search that we did before. Go back to search, and we go to this one. This should be the school. Okay, so why is this important? Why would I be interested in searching that school? Or any school? Yes?
Continuing education or jobs as a professor?
That's a possibility, but there's an extra tool here that you can use called See Alumni. And this is very, very valuable. Now, if we go to the See Alumni button here, look what this brings up. This shows me some information about the alumni who are actually used and connected their accounts to the Parsons School of Design. And it shows me where they work, what they do, all sorts of different things like that. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. If I identify Parsons, and we'll look at FIT in a minute also, I can actually resort this. Now take a look at this. If I click Art and Design, it should change this and show me different information here. Click this next button, and it shows me what their skills are that they list as their top skills. Why is this important? If you're trying to figure out what skills should I be highlighting on my profile, if you find people that work in art, design, at the company, fashion apparel design, whatever it is, try graphic design here, and I can actually choose this by company. There it is. We're just going to put Scholastic for the sake of our, well, it's Random House. And it should show me if they haven't chosen their skills over here. So if I'm targeting a particular company, a particular job, I can see what their people have put down as their skills who graduated from the top schools in a particular area. Now, it used to be a lot easier to switch schools because it used to be just a button, click it, and I go to FIT right afterwards. Now you have to actually go back out into the search capability.
Can you pull up purchase?
Type it back in. And what's that?
Could you pull up purchase?
Yeah, I have that. Actually, you'll see here on my, you have to go back out, but all the way back. And you'll see that one of the things that I had up here is Purchase College SUNY. Let's see alumni, and this gives you the opportunity to actually engage and interact with alumni at this particular institution based on degree. And by the way, down here at the bottom, you actually see the people that are alumni. And you can resort this again. If I'm into art and design, and I want to see people that work at the New York City Department of Education, here are 18 alumni from SUNY Purchase that actually work at the Department of Education that had that same art and design kind of degree. This is a great opportunity for networking. Again, you connect with them saying, hey, we're both students, or I was a student, or something about connecting in college, and that's a great opportunity to build that connection with them. We just have that as a connection and find an engagement opportunity afterwards to utilize that in the most effective way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions about that? There's about 5 minutes left. I'll show you one more thing. I talked about it at the beginning, but LinkedIn actually has this new thing called Open Candidate. Okay? Open Candidate is when you're currently working at, say, at Touro College or SUNY Purchase or at Macy's, but you want to signal to other people that you're available for other opportunities. Now, this is a little complicated to get to, but just to show you here, you click this Jobs button right here, and you got to click Update Preferences. It did not make this easy to find, but once you do that, it's going to give you the opportunity to turn this on. Let recruiters know that you're open. What this does is it puts you under the Open Candidate category, and people who have the recruiting side, paid recruiting side of LinkedIn can actually find you and see what you're looking for. Now, LinkedIn promises that somebody at your company can't actually see it and they block it. I wouldn't rely on that so specifically, because it could be a different name of the company, different division of the company. They can contract out and somebody can see it. So if you're putting something out there, potentially your company can't see that you're an open candidate, even though LinkedIn does what it can to help prevent that from happening. And the people who are doing the searches to see here, what job titles are you considering, the things you're interested in specifically, and they're able to search based on that, and you can change those based on what your preference is. Locations, kinds of jobs, but here's something also very, very important. You can include a note to the recruiting manager. And that is, if somebody actually clicks on my profile from the recruiting platform, this is a message that I'm going to send to them. To me, I make this more like a cover letter kind of thing. And it has to be generic because you don't know who's looking at it. But it gives me the opportunity to reach out to them and give them a personal message and a sell about me that takes them above and beyond what some of the other people do here. A little hard to see here, but dear hiring manager, let's see if we can get this the way that makes sense here. I have worked in career services for more than 9 years. And, basically, quick sell. It does limit the number of characters you can use there. But I think this is a very powerful tool, especially if you have a college job. Because again, recruiters might say, this person's employed at whatever the college job is, they're not looking for something. This signals that yes, I am looking for a job in art and theater design, whatever it is, for after I graduate, and they'll be open to knowing that when they're actually looking at it, when they're doing the searches through the recruiter platform. Does that make sense? Yes?
I found that that sometimes when I've worked with job seekers and they, let's say, put their resume out on like a job search board, like, like one of the common job search boards, that they get, some quality recruiters contacting them, but then they have to kind of fish through like pyramid schemes and stuff like that. Is it less on LinkedIn that
So I think Open Candidate is an appropriate way to do it. You see people say seeking a new opportunity. I used to say, before Tinder, I used to say that saying seeking a job on LinkedIn is like seeking a date on Facebook. But that's changing the Tinder world. But in any event, because people look at that negatively, they shouldn't, but they do. I worked for a recruiter. We would give them names of people who met certain search criteria, and he didn't want anybody that actually said they were looking for something. So I think Open Candidate is much more effective, and yeah, you'll get bombarded by the people who are looking to sell you something. So that's something you have to watch out for.
I think it's also tricky, too, because if you're connected to people where you work, you don't want to identify yourself as the open candidate, because if they're looking at your profile, they're going to see, oh, she's actually looking.
Well, but Open Candidate is only available, it's not available, I can't see you as an open candidate.
You can't, okay.
It is only available for professionals who buy the recruiting software, the Premier service. It's only on the premium service that companies have for recruiting. I can't see it, and LinkedIn claims that even if, let's say, Touro College had the premium service, they will not be able to see my open candidate because I'm listed as a Touro College person. Okay. They claim that. Again, I wouldn't rely on that because let's say Touro contracted out to a search agency, they could see that potentially and pass that on. But no, the normal user cannot see as your open candidate. Only people that pay for that premium account can do that. Other questions? Yes?
You go to the jobs section and then what do you press?
So I'll show you how to do this again. So let's go back to the home page, and they made this much more difficult to find. But you go to jobs, then update preferences. And unfortunately, this is the only real way to do this. Then you got to turn that to on and add the information, and that'll give you the opportunity to be an open candidate. I definitely advise people do this, especially college students, because it allows the people who are actually recruiting based on search terms and advanced features and the premium accounts to find you and know that you're actually interested in finding positions. And it doesn't have that sort of negative, negative perspective that some of the other seeking new opportunity kind of promotions are supposed to do. Other questions? Yes?
The titles that you have listed there, were they from like a list or did you type them?
I typed them in, and they actually self-complete.
Okay.
So these are things that all existed in the system because they're actually position titles that exist, and you can fill them in based on what it is. And again, you can choose different locations as well. I want to be locked into the New York area, so I have that there, but you can choose multiple locations, full-time, part-time internship, those kinds of things. So for students, for example, if you're working in a college job, you can flip that internship button. That's a search capability that those recruiters are going to have on their side to look for people who are open candidates with particular skills who are looking specifically for internships. So great opportunity to use. Very few people are actually utilizing this at this point. So it's a great way to make sure that your profile stands out. But again, you need to have a good LinkedIn profile before you start sharing things. Just being on LinkedIn is not enough, because if you're sharing stuff, it's garbage in, garbage out. You're sharing stuff that isn't promoting you professionally, doesn't promote your brand, doesn't have a professional picture. There's spelling mistakes and errors. That's not going to promote you in a positive way. There's actually a recruiter named Steve Levy, who actually showed me, if you type in detail-oriented into the search on LinkedIn, you'd be shocked how many people spell detail-oriented incorrectly. And you would think, if you're detail-oriented, you should spell that correctly, but like literally thousands of hits of misspelled detail-oriented. So you want to make sure you're presenting yourself in a positive, professional, appropriate way with your LinkedIn profile. Hopefully the tools that I gave you earlier today will give you the opportunity to create that profile that really sells you, sells your brand, and sells who you are. Other questions? Yes?
So I know you mentioned groups before, and they're kind of going out. Do you think groups are going towards not existing anymore, or are they going to
I don't know if they're not going to be existing, but look where you have to go to find groups now. Groups used to be listed on the bottom. You got to go way over here to this work button and click the group button. With SlideShare, Advertise, Learning, very, very few people are actually utilizing. LinkedIn made some significant changes to their groups about a year and a half ago. After those changes, the groups have really fallen out of favor, and they're not as popular or as effective as they used to be. It used to be a good opportunity to engage people. They're really not as much as they used to be. Other questions?
Will you mention a little bit about the value of the student app?
So I mean, it's interesting because the student app is an app that LinkedIn puts out specifically set up for students that help students choose careers. Okay, I actually complained to LinkedIn about the student app. The student app does have some value. Again, you click the student app based on some of the criteria and things you enter in your profile. It'll give you suggestions for career opportunities and career options that might make sense for you. Now, as a career services professional, when I saw that, I was horrified. Because I spend hours working with students at Career Direction, and here we have a Tinder-style system. So I don't want to be a graphic designer, I want to be a theater. I don't like that, though there are definitely students who see value in terms of ideas, but it becomes suggestive is the problem. And you don't want it to be suggestive. You want to make your decisions based on meeting people in the CDC, talking to them, not just because, hey, LinkedIn says I make a great forester. So, so I'm not a big fan of it, but some people do find the value in it. But I definitely recommend, if you're looking for that career direction, don't get it from a Tinder-style system. Get it from a professional at the Career Development Center.
What I did feel that was helpful, because I was playing around with it, as if I was a student, and what I liked was it would suggest the people who are in my network or the alumni who are at the companies or the organizations that I have stated interest in.
Right.
And that I thought was a nice
It's
way
a more direct way of doing it, but you can do that through the system itself.
Sure.
You don't need to go into the app to do it.
Sure.
And again, I just didn't like that. I remember having some arguments with some people at NACE about this, because I just don't like the idea of people choosing careers on a swipe left, swipe right. Basis. It's so much that goes into it.
Sure.
Who says they're right? And I don't like the suggestivity of it, the way they suggest things. Other questions? Anything else I can show you guys? Status updates. You guys know how to do that?
Sure.
Show you really quickly.
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to be able to actually include the picture here now, but status updates on your homepage. This is where you can share articles, photos, or updates. Write an article for the publishing. But this is your opportunity to actually connect your post to somebody. The ones that you see that I did a little bit earlier today, you will see here when I go down to my profile to show you. That I actually connected it to Purchase College SUNY. I used the hashtags if anyone's looking for LinkedIn to see it, and I included the flyer in there as well. Those are all things you can do here from this home button. You can include the updates, the pictures over here, public posts, all those things. And you can actually connect it to companies or people. So I can actually, if I want to try it here, and I didn't try this before, but we'll just see if it works. That's the right? So I could tag, it's not working out. But if you find it, you look through it appropriately. Specifically, you can find the people that you want to tag. So if there's somebody specifically, hey, you need to know about my LinkedIn workshop, you need to know about what I'm doing in theater, you can tag them directly, but you can also tag companies and schools. And if you're giving a presentation somewhere or you're looking to engage potentially with the company, that can be a good way to engage with them there, specifically there. Yes?
I just tagged you. If you look at your notifications, you'll see this very workshop.
Take a look.
Tag. Or you should be. There you are.
There we are. All right. Yeah, there we go. And you see here that I can go through this and do different things with this and all those things. That's really
I
good.
tag everybody.
No, it's good. It's good. That's exactly the kind of thing you want to do. By the way, another thing you did earlier today is, let's see if it's still up here. Yes, you endorsed me for a particular skill. I actually thank you for that.
Oh, I'll see
That
if I
shows
get
up
that
in my messages now. I don't want to show you the whole conversation that we've had here, but other things. But that shows up in the messages because I thank you. If someone endorses you, take the time to say thank you. Because it could be an opportunity to sell yourself. If you endorse me, there's some interest potentially. I say, well, how can I utilize that skill for you? So it's an opportunity to monetize your endorsements. Yes, I'm sorry about that.
So if you're an artist and you made a new piece of art and you wanted to show that, does that count as a status update? How do you?
Yeah, I think you can. I mean, you have to be careful with the resolution because the law is higher resolution. You want to make sure that it actually shows it in an appropriate way. But say, my new great piece of artwork I wanted to share with everybody, and you pop it up there. I think that's a great thing. Again, use the hashtag or the words that allow people to find you that might be looking outside of your direct group of connections. But absolutely. But again, check to make sure that because with art, you want to make sure it looks right. You want to make sure the resolution doesn't ruin the way that it's actually good or in close. There was a question?
Yeah, what options do they give you for limiting the posts that you do?
In terms of length?
Public, no,
Oh, public or private, or who can see it? Yeah, we'll show you that.
Because on Facebook, you can put people in groups, and you can select which groups.
Right. So let's just go here. So here are the choices. Public and Twitter. I advise against that, or just people you're connected to. So the only people who'll be able to search it or find it are people that I'm directly connected to, my first 3 connections on. Does that make sense? So that's all you can limit to, though. If you're connected to 20,000 people, people can see it. By the way, they can share it as well. So anything you post anywhere online is public property. I mean, don't assume you're ever going to be able to hide anything you post anywhere. Because somebody can share it, someone can take a screenshot, you never know where it's going to end up. So to me, I keep it public because I don't post anything that I would be embarrassed to show my grandmother. So no reason not to do it. Okay? There was another question?
Just with like the status updates, how important do you think it is? I mean, if you're using LinkedIn totally effectively, is this something you should be doing often?
Yeah, I think you should, because again, that shows up under your activities, and activities show up much more prominently than they ever did before. So, and it shows the last 3, so you want to keep professional things up on a regular basis. Plus, it also shows that it's not a stagnant account. Sometimes if somebody has an account and they haven't updated it in 6 months, there's no status updates. Is that so accurate? Is Client still working there? I don't know. But if they're sending regular updates, normally, if they're following through, that their information is going to be updated as well. But I think the updates, the kind of activities and updates that you are much more important than they were on the old user interface. You have another question?
If you're tagged, does that show up in your activities?
If you're tagged, I don't think it shows up in your activities unless you like it. If you like it, it'll show up in your activities. But the fact that someone else tagged you won't show up, as far as I'm aware. Other questions? So I guess that's, thank you so much for having me, I appreciate it. If you want to ask me individual questions, we can put the screen off here and I'll show you individually.